What is going on, friend? Sean Don coming back with a technical analysis. Here we have Anthony, aka Tony Zajac. Believe it or not, the first person I've ever helped with online coaching who has a last name that starts with the letter Z. So, pretty cool. Before we get into today's video, if you guys are interested in any online coaching, go to my website, gripandrip.co. Get yourself a technical analysis just like this. Maybe sign up for some throws programming, some lifting programming, or do the whole thing, complete programming, and let me help you crush some goals, really take your performance to the next level, go win a conference title, national title, set some records, whatever it is. I would love to help you guys out. Indoor season is here. I've had some clients open up this past weekend, set some big PRs, so pretty dope. Let's get to it. So let's take a look. All right, so Tony, good old North Central. I've been there a few times. Almost transferred there when I was in college. So, one more look. Sling 3-turn. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, let's get right into it. So, starting square at the back of the circle. I'm a big fan of the sling start, especially for the smaller guys. Big dudes, you can wind the weight, but smaller guys, winding the weight's usually not the best because it's so heavy, kind of comes crashing down on you. But so you got the sling start going. I also don't understand the fascination with people always doing these like big kind of preliminary swings, and this isn't nearly as bad as I've seen some people do it. But like this sort of position here, I don't know. I've never really understood why you want to kind of bend at the waist, kind of drop the chest forward, that sort of thing before you start the throw. I was always just a fan of kind of just starting with my set posture and then bringing the ball back to the right, which is what you're doing, and then from here you start that sling. And there's one kind of thing that I notice right every time I've watched your throw since you sent it to me. This is kind of what I notice is that left side kind of really pulls and starts the whole throw, which isn't a bad thing. I'm all for setting up left side tension, but I think it's just a little bit rushed. So if you see you're opening up facing that right side pretty well, facing that right side of the cage, hips are more or less underneath you, down the legs, pretty solid position here. But then you're going to see this left side really kind of set right there. So that left side's stable. You're setting up that left side pretty well, but the ball really never gets. You don't quite turn with the ball, I guess is the thing I'm trying to say. Is it looks like that left side goes ahead right here. As you can see, that left arm's coming across that body. That right side is a little short, and then you can see the ball never really gets out in front of you. The ball never passes you. You never really quite have that patience where you're really setting up good connection. You're just kind of creating that left side tension, which I think is, like I said, part of the throw, but you're just not letting it transfer into the ball that well. You're not letting the ball kind of take you around the left and create some tension. It's all that left side that kind of starts. So you kind of start by pulling that left side, and the ball really never gets out in front of you. So I'm all for setting this left side right here, but then as you do that, you got to chill out that left side, chill out the body a little bit, and let the ball pass. So if you held this position right here and the ball started to slowly catch up as it goes through 0, that would be good. But as you can see, that left side continues to pull back. You start to turn, and then you can see that left side's already kind of shortening a little bit. That right side's a little tight with that bent right elbow, and just kind of hampering connection a little bit. You are setting that kind of direction pendulum sort of backwards, but like I said, that ball's just not in the right spot yet. You got to let that ball get ahead a little bit more in entry, or rather just stay square with it. So cast it wide out to the right, and then let the ball get in front of you before you start kind of turning and opening up with it. As you can see, like I said, you're kind of just leading it a good bit. And then you can see that left side really shift back in entry. When you're coming off that heel, that's kind of stereotypical, but still really shortening that left side around the left. So ball's coming out to about here. As you can see, you're already back heavy on the right, which isn't a bad thing. It looks like you're trying to kind of hold that head a little bit and get the ball a little bit ahead towards the end of double support, but you got to do that earlier. So like to me, it just looks like you're a little early with the body here, and then you never really let the ball catch up. You're just kind of, let's say maybe like 90 degrees kind of early with everything, at least in terms of what the body's doing, and the ball is like 90 degrees behind what it should be doing, if that makes sense. But shifting back, pulling back a little bit, you could try to get this left knee out over that left toe a little bit in this position. It's really tough to do. But basically, you just want to get the ball longer left. It could also come from getting the hips a little bit more forwards, even trying to reach that left shoulder out a little bit more. Basically, you just want to try to get that ball long left and then feel it kind of pull you into the turn. Like I said, with this left side kind of leading, you're always ahead of it. You're never going to feel that ball kind of whoosh past you. You're never going to feel that ball accelerate naturally. It's all coming from the body pulling. So, and that's kind of how you throw far. You let the ball do the work. But as you go into single support, like I said, you're a little bit back heavy on this right, so this right foot kind of comes peeling off, and then the ball, now at this point, is ahead of you. Not much separation here, but positions are okay. You can just see your hips don't really turn with the ball that well. They're rotating, but as the ball goes left, your hips are kind of back down towards the right side. So your hips a little bit back, you go into the catch, and you can see your hips are a little bit back here. A little tiny bit of separation between the ball and the upper body and the lower body, a little tiny bit. Kind of come back even, which is fine, but I'd like to see that ball long around the left, feel that ball stretch down that right sector and step forward towards it. I said it looks like you kind of step around rather than forwards. So you're kind of missing a little direction. So when you catch, there's a little bit of separation, but not much. The body's going to kind of do what it always did in the previous turn, which is that left side kind of leads it. And actually, as you go through this second double support, not that bad. All right, pretty stable. There's a little bit of that left side shifting back, pulling back. You're trying to turn with it. You do a decent job of that in terms of the legs and feet and lower body all turning together. But you still see you have the tendency to kind of shift back on this right side. That the hips and the torso come back over this right side. Just a little bit too early. You got to stay a little bit more stable with that left side. So when you catch, once you get to about right here, that left side should be stable. The ball should whoosh around, kind of catch up, kind of take you into the next turn where you're kind of pulling back. That left side's kind of tight, and then your right side doesn't quite connect like it needs to, or it's a little shorter on the left, but that right side is turning better, so you're going to get a hopefully better catch in this turn. Yeah, so right side's connected a little bit better. Catch a little bit more direction into the sector, a little deeper catch, which is good. A little bit more separation. And then same sort of thing I think is going to happen here where this left side starts to pull back before the ball gets to zero. You can see that left side even kind of coming across the body, and the video quality isn't the best here. This happens quite frequently. I need to figure out a better way to do that, but yeah, this video transfer thing's always tough. But yeah, left side's pulling back, coming across the body. It's like you're almost doing it well, it's just a little bit too early. Same sort of thing, you got to let the ball get a little bit more ahead if you held this position, but the ball was, let's say, maybe out in front of that right leg a little bit more stability through zero. As you can see, you just turn inside of it. You turn before the ball gets to zero. Come across the body with that left side. Heavy back on that right side again. Hips getting up into it a little bit more. Right side's turning with it better. But same thing, sort of short around that left side. You can start to see you're kind of coming across the body in this position here, where you can see that head's turning kind of to 180. That left side's kind of coming across the body. Ball's kind of behind you. And then you kind of gather into this next turn. As you can see, both legs kind of like come together. You almost come off the ground. Maybe do come off the ground with that left foot. You gather into this next turn. And it's like you never really finish that previous turn because that left side's pulling so hard. The ball never gets out around the left. You never feel that whoosh. So you catch. You're gathered. There's some separation here. But you're almost a little bit too steep, too forward into the circle with that right side. And you go to turn, and that low point is 45 and 40. It's in front of your hips, but it looks like if you were in this position right here, I'd assume you're throwing down that right sector line instead of down 180. So you can see this left side really kind of coming across the body now, pulling, head being thrown back, opening up, left side coming across the body. You're getting your hips up into it pretty well, and you do have the patience to finish the throw out into the sector. That's just not the most efficient, most ideal kind of way to throw. So like I said, it's not bad. Just that left side kind of right from the start kind of takes over, and you just need a little bit more left side stability. So yeah, a little bit more patient, get the ball out in front of you. You want to, I'd say probably at this point, you set that left side, you push that right hand forwards, kind of straighten that right arm out without turning or pulling back with that left side. That'll get the ball out more in front of you. If you had this position right here with the body, but the ball is more in front of you, it'd be good. let that ball get long left, and then connect that right side and turn with it. Because like I said, you're just kind of back heavy on that right side. So yeah, and that just kind of sets the tone for the rest of the throw. That left side's always a little bit ahead. You're back heavy on the right. The second turn was actually pretty decent, and then you start pulling back, losing some separation, losing some tension, losing some connection, and then you go to finish, and you're strong enough to kind of pull it around. But I think if you cleaned up that entry, you cleaned up, and you made every other turn just like that entry, so that same sort of motion that I'm trying to get you to do in entry, if you did that all 3 turns, it'd be a much easier, much more effortless, much more efficient throw. So yeah, hopefully this helps, Tony. Let me know if you have any questions, and if anybody else out there, as I said before, needs some online coaching, wants to crush some goals, set some PBs this indoor season, this outdoor season, hit me up. Go to my website, gripandrip.co. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Until next time, Sean Don, signing off.